Lazykarim Sport.
Basically, homie, that's suicide.
Okay, we'll start with Mark. How's training going ahead of 2012?
Yeah, training's going really well. We had a really good winter's training. Coming into the kind of racing part of the season now, we go off to Belgrade next Wednesday for our first World Cup of the season. And then we'll find out where we are and what we need to do in the build up to London.
Is it nice to get a bit of time off and come to events like today and relax?
Yeah, no, I love coming to see kids and speaking to them and just to make them realise that we're just normal people. We were young, we had a dream and ambition, vision, and we just kind of gave up all our time. I've got some self-belief and drive and determination, and it just shows that anything's possible.
You obviously competed in the London Youth Games when you were younger. What sort of impact did the Games have on you and your athletic career?
Oh, it was huge, to compete at an event like that as a youngster. It gives you an idea of competition, you get a chance to meet people from different areas, and it just becomes a lot of fun, and you really get a sense of competition and what it's like to compete and put yourself under pressure.
Okay, then can we move on to you now, Paul, please. Can you tell us some of your memories from the 1948 Olympics, please?
My memories?
Yes.
64 years ago, you've got to remember, it's difficult to go back to. I think the most significant memory was the opening ceremony at Wembley. A very hot day, rather a lot of waiting around, which we found a bit of a strain, but it was a most exciting day, and the King opened the games, and a whole flock, I'm told 7,000 pigeons were released and flew up overhead. Everyone put their hats on PDQ in case. It was a tremendous day. It was an all-day session, and not something you want to do too often because it's pretty exhausting. The other big memory, of course, is the several months training down at Henley. The crew were all in the same house, living together and rowing. It was tremendous fun and a tremendous opportunity to get to know people.
And you obviously went on to win silver at that Olympic Games. How do you think the sport of rowing has developed and evolved since then in those 64 years?
How has it developed? It's changed fantastically, not just rowing, but all sports. At least I would think so. We didn't have the technology then that you have today. We were also, of course, amateur. We had various other jobs to do during the day. I was a student. Most of the 8 were students at university, but some of the other people were working in between. So it was a mixture of work and play, if you like, or work and train, whereas now, fortunately, you're able to devote virtually the whole day to training. Yeah. Well, that I have mixed feelings about. It's fine devoting your whole life to it if you're a success, but people who don't reach the top, it's an awful come down, and I think that must be a hell of a blow. But I mean, the difference now, funding and amateurism, it's changed beyond all recognition.
How do you think you would have competed, if you were in your early 20s again now, competed in the modern day, in the 2012 Olympics, how do you think you'd cope against people like Mark?
How do I think we'd...
How do you think you would cope today, if you were in your prime today, against the rowers, top rowers in the world?
It's impossible to say, but we'd go hell for leather to do our very best. That there's no doubt. We're a bit heavier than Mark, so I think we'd be all right.
And a final question for both of you. How much are you looking forward to this year's Olympics? Obviously, Mark, you'll be competing. Paul, you'll be watching on television and at the event.
I'm looking forward to it tremendously. With a degree of apprehension, it's such a big event that I just hope to goodness that the organisation in London is able to cope, well, in the UK, is able to cope with it, because it would be a tragedy if there were any serious foul-ups. and I am slightly scared at times.
How about you, Mark?
I think the Olympics, the slogan "Inspire a Generation." I think that's what it's about. The future of this country, sport in the world. Looking at all the greatest athletes in the world competing, being inspired. It doesn't have to be in that particular sport, but just give them some vision, some drive, and see what the expectation they can have on themselves later on.
Lazykarim Sport.